So for chapter 8, assuming you watch the videos, you have a pretty good idea of what's going on between these two topics, searching and sorting. Okay. I know at least two people already watched the videos because in order to do the next program, you have to include a certain sort that is not in the textbook and it's not on the Google, it's nowhere. You have to get that from the video. So when we talk about searching, we filled arrays before, and the first type of search was in fact a linear. And that's the one where we started at the beginning and we went all the way to the end. Worst case scenario was it's not in the list and you had to run through all of those. We talked about a binary search. That was the cut it in half and go from there. If I gave you numbers, if I gave you the game price is right, and I said that, well, the cost is between $0 and $1,000, and the game is higher or lower. And what should your first guess be? 10? No. 20? No. Anybody?
500.
500.
500. Awesome. And then from there, you go higher, lower, and you just keep cutting it in half. But people get on the game show. You probably never watched Prices Right, but that was actually a game to try and guess the cost. Some of you had me for CPS 121, and this number was actually 1,024, which was 2 to the 10th power. So you did I should be able to find the number within 10 guesses of higher or lower. You did 512, 256, and just kept going from there. Sorting. There's three general types of sorts. Within these general types, there's lots of different sorts. There's sorts for small lists. There's sorts that work better for gigantic lists. When you take CPS 162, you're going to fill in a lot more of these. But for now, you had the selection sort. And what it did was it selected an item and moved it where you wanted. And it was just called the selection sort. In 162, you'll be doing other different types of selection sorts. For the exchange sort, you had the bubble sort, and you had the Dan sort. That's my name, by the way. The Dan sort. So we had three sorts that we've talked about so far in this class. Okay. Another type is insertion, and you won't see that until 162. You'll see some other selections. You're going to see some other exchanges. This one selected a value and waited till a certain point and then moved it. These two were interchanging as you went along, exchanging as you went. Dealing with sorting, you needed to know ascending and descending, low to high and high to low. All of that was in the lecture, so I don't have to repeat it. Okay, it was really popular. Swap. Um, swap simply took a value, num1, a value, num2, and we needed a temp. And say this was 4 and this was 6. We made this 4. We made this 6. We made this 4. We moved those values around. Now, before we go any farther, I'm going to put you in small groups and I want you to create a function for swapping. I want you to create a function for swapping. And what's the key? A reference variable. So I'm going to put you in the groups for about 5 minutes and then I'll bring you all back. How many participants? There are 13. So we need 4 groups. Okay, see you in a couple minutes. Hmm. 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 Pause. All right, so here is the quick swap function. You have it, you now tuck it away. It's a block of code that is yours to use. That's the good part of 162. You learn stuff, and it's these giant programs that you can reuse. And it's like once you learn them, then they're yours to use. So here is a function, just like your searches and your sorts were functions as well. All right, so now we want to do the hands-on part in the class. Shooby dooby doo. Page 499, number one. It's a whole bunch of numbers there for you. You're going to input those numbers and store them in an array. You are, and this can be done um, through a file to store them in. So you'll fill all those numbers into a file. So this is like a function. Fill the array. Second function is the numbers are coming in, and I'd like you to sort them using the selection sort. Now, if you already have it typed up, that's a matter of cutting and pasting. But I want you to use the selection sort. Then you're going to ask the user for a number to see if it's in one of those secret numbers. Okay. How are you going to find it? I want you to use the binary search. That's why we sorted the array first. We want to do the binary search. And then include a run again. So that would be that block you would be running again. Now, if you get all that done, which I highly think you can, I'd like you to put in a little arrow in a function inside of here. So one, two, three, four, five, six functions, because this run again is good as a function. You know, once that's a function, you can easily grab it and reuse it. That's the whole block of code. Would you like to enter again? Blah, 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 blah. Okay. If the number is not found, so this search may return a true or false. If the number is not found, how many digits were correct? So we're dealing with 7-digit numbers, 7-digit numbers that are going to be in the file. And, you're going to go through, oh, yeah, blah, 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 number wasn't found. That's boring, so on and so on. But what happens if they enter 7895222? Wouldn't it be nice to know, oh, you entered 6 correct numbers and you knew you were off? And I mean, you can display it if you want, whatever you want, whatever you want. But I want you to get this program up and running where this is the main. This main is all functions. This is the main. All you're doing is calling functions. You're going to have a loop for your run again, but otherwise, here's all the work. Again, do you have the easy for you to say selection sort already done in a block of code? Do you have the binary search already done in a block of code? If not, you may have to go back to the videos that you were to have watched before you came into the beginning of class. Questions? There's the data. It's on page 499. Someone's going to go and type up the text file for that and store all the data in. The rest of you are doing this.